You have your offer, your irresistible offer, you've got your program, you know you can help people if you just get more eyes on your offer. Is that it? Will the sales just come in? There is a missing link that no one seems to be talking about. You know you should be more consistent with your posting, but is that enough? You have your lead magnet, you've written your ebooks, you have a webinar prepped, your branding is on point, but if you're still not getting sales, you're missing a whole process. Will someone just like your post and then message you asking to buy? Maybe, but possibly not. It's not just about posting consistently on social media. If it were that easy, everybody would be doing it. So how do you turn engagement or no engagement on your posts into sales? We're not getting rid of prospecting altogether, but there is a way to do it. We're not talking about spamming your friends and family, but rather watching out for who is liking and commenting on your posts, who is in your target market, and then actually reach out. So what gets measured gets managed. So instead of getting lost in your notifications, because trust me, you will when you start this process, I use a Trello board to organize this so that you don't miss anything. Treat your business as a business. Have a specific daily method of operation to get daily calls, which are going to lead to sales. Have a specific time set throughout your day to deal with this. That will build your pipeline and the sales will come. What's the number one rule in sales? In my opinion, it's rapport. If you break rapport, you've lost. Make sure you show up on time. One of the easiest ways to break rapport and trust, like, respect is to show up late. It's all about engagement. Anybody know why? The more you're bonded with a person, the more you're going to get a sale. Listen, I'm not the best salesperson that ever walked the planet, but I know the process and the process works. My first rule for sales is rapport, because it's the thing that sells the most. If you use this process occasionally, you may get something out. But if you do it consistently, day in, day out, you will get a tremendous amount out of it. This is how we make our sales, in the DMs, through active prospecting with people who are in our target market and who are interested in what we have to sell. So the more you can get your prospective buyers and potential buyers to actually show up, either in your DMs or on a Zoom, guess what will happen to your sales? They're going to go up. Why? Well, why do you think? You're showing them that you care. You're showing them that you're as much committed as you want them to be. When you're committed, they're more committed. You know the old saying, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. This is so true. See, the truth is all of us have a human need for significance. If that person shows up late, then, they don't care for me, right? So the reality is, if you're not showing that you care, you won't get the sales. You're going to have an agenda coming in to the call. You want to make a sale. What agenda do you think the person you're selling to has? To save as much money as possible, to get a nice deal. They don't want to be ripped off. You're not going to screw them over. So if you don't have a system to handle this, their agenda is going to prevail every time. It's that simple. This is a process. And just like you can't change your body shape after the first workout, it takes time. This is an accumulative process. Now remember, the buyer doesn't care what you think. They really don't. They do care about themselves, what's in it for them. And at the end of the day, that the buying decision is what's in it for them. So ask questions. Because if you can ask questions about what they want, they will actually tell you. So what kind of questions? Yeah, you've got what, how, why, but go a little bit deeper. Could you describe for me, please? Can you explain a little bit more? Just get curious, open-ended questions. Not a loaded question, because when people are feeling that they're being loaded upon, they're just going to pull away from you. And that's going to break the magic word, rapport. Could you tell me, where are you right now? What was it like? Just get curious. Anything is better than a closed-ended question. Are you enjoying that meal? No. That's not going to help. Why do people buy? Here's the reason I want you to understand. There's only one major reason that people buy anything. They need to have buying confidence. They need to be fully confident that you have the solution to their problem. But when they come into the call, they're going to be in some type of discomfort, some type of fear. Again, they don't want to be ripped off. They don't want to be sold to. So instead of trying to move them too quickly to get them to buying confidence, in other words, if you try and just motivate them and tell them how amazing you are and what your product is like, really need to move them into a place of neutrality first. Because if you try to take somebody who's in a very high fear state and you move them right to that buying confidence too quickly, you're going to invoke more fear. And even if you do coerce them into buying, they might get buyer's remorse. Then it's not a win-win. So here's the thing. Everybody's trying to sell way too quickly. It's like when somebody is being pressured in a sale or pressured in life even. You know, it's like if you're sitting at the traffic lights and it's a red light and that thing suddenly turns green, somebody behind you honks that horn straight away. You're not thinking, oh, thanks for letting me know that I'm a millisecond beyond, the expiration date of moving forward. It's going to irritate you a little bit. It's going to invoke a bit of fear, a bit of discomfort. Now you're going to be upset with the person behind you for pushing you too soon. Whereas if they just allowed you to wait a couple of seconds and maybe you hadn't noticed it, you're thinking about something and they just gently honk the horn, it's not going to invoke the same feeling. It's not going to invoke the same amount of anxiety. It's not going to invoke the same amount of discomfort because they allowed you to go to neutral. So when you're trying to motivate somebody, if you try to move them to buying confidence without putting them in neutral first, it's going to be very difficult to get a sale. A body in motion tends to stay in motion, emotion, and a body at rest tends to stay at rest. So you can't leave them in the fear state or they'll stay there. You take people in a high fear state and you just move them to neutral. That's it. Then you can move them along the continuum to buying confidence. But you have to move them to neutral first. So how do you do this? Through questions. So as I said before, the what, how, why, can you explain? Can you describe? Tell me a little bit more about that. Just remember, who are we selling to? It's not business to business, business to customer. It's humans. We're talking to human beings. It's human to human. And you've got to move them from a state of pain, which is just another word of discomfort, to the pleasure. The way you do that is move them to neutral. So if you're going into a call thinking, I'm going to make a sale today, the buyer will perceive this as a feeling and you may push the sale away. If you don't pay attention to feeling, you will lose. And they will tell you things as they go along. Do you actually really ask enough open-ended questions and really get to know the person in the way you're supposed to? Or do you launch into your sales presentation? If you have a system, you have predictability in the sales. When you're not following a system, you'll get some results, but it's not predictable. So you want a full system, a predictable system that builds rapport. So this is your model. It might seem complex at first, but just be married to the process, but divorced from the results. Get rid of any emotion attached to the outcome. And you can do all of this in your DMs. For instance, you could send messages to people who are already a Facebook friend who you know is in your target audience. And you can also go out and find new friends every day who are your target audience. But Do not instantly invite them to your group or ask them to like your page. How do you feel when people do that to you before finding out anything about you? There has to be a process. When there's no emotion attached, you won't come across as needy. So, with this presentation, I'm just going to cover one method for new friends, right? You can't be a prophet in your own backyard sometimes, but as you get into the flow, you can use parts of this method daily, whilst, say, sending out birthday messages to your current friends who you feel are in your target audience. Or you can monitor who is consistently liking your posts, or more importantly, your stories, and reach out to them in the same way in DMs. So step 1, spend time every day finding, say, 5 people. Start with 5 people to add to your list. You can build up to 20 once this becomes a habit, but you won't be able to deal with the amount of notifications if you move too quickly, because it may take you time to learn this process. What you're going to do, if they're in your target audience, like 3 of their posts, add a comment and then send a friend request. Then back off, wait. Don't want to push it too soon. Wait at least a day, maybe 2 days, and then send a short audio message. Not trying to sell, only to those who have accepted. And then once you start seeing them engaging on your post, or there's more engagement, then you can start the active prospecting approach. This is what I call the research method, because there's so many people in your DMs getting you to just join your group, or they've got this amazing formula for you. So try doing something a bit different. So the research method, you're actually asking them for help. That's the initial message. So you could start with, hey, whatever the name is, I need your help. I'm putting together a report on professionals in your industry, and I'm writing to you to see if I can get your input. I will not be attempting to sell you anything, I guarantee it. It would take about 30 minutes to conduct the interview, and we would publish our findings online. You can choose to remain anonymous if you wish, but it would be a great way to get some free publicity as well as help contribute to your field. Are you free tomorrow around? And give them 3 options: a morning, a lunchtime, an evening slot. Don't send your Calendly link or online calendar link. This is informal. You're having an informal chat in your DMs. Everybody's busy. I miss notifications. I miss messages. So what I've found works really well is that if in a couple of days, maybe they haven't even seen it, or if they have seen it, they haven't responded, I am going to follow up. Put something like, I know how busy notifications can get and it's easy to miss messages, so just putting this to the top. Now, some people don't like this, but if they don't like it, it's just that they're not a good fit. I actually really appreciate it when people do this, because it is easy to miss notifications in your DMs. And sometimes, I am interested, but I've just, I haven't put it in my calendar. So this is for those who were interested and have just lost track of time. And really, this is majorly important because 62% of people say that they would buy if they were followed up with 8 to 12 times. Now that's massive, because 50% of people don't even follow up once. Don't take it personally. If they haven't responded to your DM, doesn't mean that they weren't interested. It just means everyone's busy, everyone's distracted. There's so many ways of communicating: email, DMs, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. There's just so much. So by just giving a gentle nudge will help you improve your conversions. How are you going to conduct it? Record a Zoom. If they haven't responded after 2 days, then wait another 5 days. So it's 7 days you've waited in total. And send them another reminder, because maybe it's time that's the objection. 30 minutes of their time to jump on a Zoom for the interview might be too much. They might be too busy. So give them another option. So you could put the questions in a form, a Google form, a Woohoo form. So then you're going to send the same message and say, I appreciate that you're very busy. So if you would still like to be involved, here's a link to the form. It will take you 10 minutes to fill out. Then you're allowing them another way to actually get involved. Now, if they still don't respond, just remove them from the list. You don't want to be harassing them. If they haven't responded 3 attempts, just remove them from the list. So record a Zoom. You ideally want cameras on if possible. You could also offer them an Amazon or PayPal gift card for their time. Likely not needed, but also you could offer them a free gift, an ebook, a cheat sheet, and then just be very attentive because this could be a future client. At the beginning of the interview, the intro. Hey, first name. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this call with me. I know you're incredibly busy and it means a lot that you would take the time out of your busy day to do this. I'm going to ask you around 20 questions. It should take only about 30 minutes to better understand you and your industry. Please be as honest and open as possible, and then you can feel free to ask me any questions at the end. Then after I've conducted about 20 of these, I will be publishing the results online, and I'll send you a copy if that's okay. You can request to remain anonymous if you wish, but it would be great publicity for you. So let's get started, and then you're going to go through the questions. Now, depending on what type of coach you are, depending on what industry you are, depending on who your target audience is, the questions are obviously going to be different. So this is just to give you an example. My 20 questions would be, number 1, how would you professionally identify yourself? Number 2, if someone asked you at a party what you do, again, how would you identify yourself? How long have you been doing this? How many hours a week do you spend on your business? Is this full-time, part-time? Then I'm going to ask them about their goals. So if I could give you a realistic magic wand, what do you want coming in every month from your business in a year's time? Then ask them what impact would this have on you and your family if you reach those goals? And ask them to give you one word to describe how you'd feel. You could ask them about what is their favorite business or self-development book? What are some of the biggest models or influencers? Then what keeps you up at night? What are your top 3 daily frustrations? What happens if you can't solve these frustrations? What trends do you see occurring in your industry? What kind of software and services are you currently using? What have you spent money on in the past year that you wanted to work but didn't? See, maybe they've tried having a coach and it didn't work out. Then you can ask, why do you think it didn't work out? Have you tried again? Yes or no? And then finally, if not, why not? See, this is great. It's a bit similar to doing a discovery call. So in which case, moving forward, you won't need to do one because you're getting all the information there. So then you conclude the interview, thank them for their time once again, and ask if it's okay if you send them the finalized report once you've completed 20 interviews. Send them another DM the following day, thanking them. That goes a long way. Again, it's more engagement. Copy your answers onto a spreadsheet. And then once you've got your 20, you're going to follow up from the interview. So once you've completed it, you're going to go back to them in the DM. This is time to reach out to the original interviewees and give them access to the report. This will also be a great chance to sell them as clients. So then you're going to share your findings. So again, in a DM, hey, hope all is well. I just wanted to reach back out to you as I have completed my report on your industry and I'd love the opportunity to share it with you. Your contribution was a tremendous help and actually added some unique insights to the overall picture. Are you free tomorrow at, and again, give them maybe 2 options to book a call. Again, you're keeping it as informal as you can, no links to your calendar. You can just respond back with a yes or your best time and we can schedule a call. So you're trying to just keep it very casual. So you can just share your findings, the top 3 responses or the most common responses, or just share your findings. And then, of course, you can invite them on to another call to dig into the challenges that they shared with you, right? You can say, now I'd like to book you in so that we could really dig in to why you've not been having the kind of success that you've been striving for. That's obviously if they haven't been getting the success that they've been striving for. And we can really look at what you think is holding you back. And then we can assess through the coaching call what would be the best way for you to move forward with your business. In the meantime, I'd like to give you access to this free training so that you can send them some free training and then get them booked on a sales call. So it might sound like a lot of work, but this is a far better gently approach, just trying to build on the rapport, build the engagement. As I said, the more interactions you get, the more chance you've got to actually get a sale, because you're showing up. You're showing up and you're showing that you care and that you're not just trying to go straight for a sale. So I'm giving you access to the board that I use to manage this, because as you can imagine, it's not going to be so simple to keep up with all the notifications. So you will be able to get access to it. Watch the end of this video to understand how you work this, and I'm giving you access to the questions that I ask. Everyone's going to be different. This is just a template. And I'm giving you access to my daily method of operation board, which includes running through all the scripts. But first of all, you must copy it. Just set up a Trello account. It's free. So click on the 3 dots. Click on more. And then click on copy board. Name it whatever you want, DM scripts, and save first. This is how I manage everything, because otherwise you're just going to get lost in notifications. So this will just make your life a lot simpler, because you'll know where everybody is. So this is my to-do list every day. I'm going to send out, you get the notifications of if somebody has a birthday. So I'm going to send birthday messages here. You're just going to send a birthday message, but maybe ask them, right? Not just a simple happy birthday, but maybe, oh, happy birthday. What are you doing today to celebrate? So it's a question to get an answer, because that is going to encourage engagement. Now, if you go and check on their profiles and you think that they may be a potential client, they might be a good fit, then create a card. So you go to the template. This is just a template, so leave this. Do not use this one. You must make a copy first. So copy it. Put their name in. What you can do is also, to make life easier for you, is in here, add their Facebook profile. So it's an easy click to find them, okay? So if they're in, and so they're already a friend, you've sent a birthday message, you can add that person there, so you know where they are. That's all that's happened, right? If you're posting on social media, then we've added some templates. You know, you might want to do gratitude post, inspirational post, engaging question, a poll, a quote. Now here are some templates that you can copy first. So Mary May is my VA. And so we've created some templates that you can go in, change the colouring to your branding. Obviously these colours are all linked with my branding. You can change the font. So we're just going to use template. You're going to copy it again first. Don't change our templates. So you want to save these as your own and change the branding colours to your branding colours. Also on my to-do list is not just posting on social media, but doing stories. Again, if you want, you can copy the story template. We will do, one might be just an inspirational quote. The next one might be a video or a boomerang of a product or service. The next one will be an engaging question. The next one will be a video reel, and the next one an offer, whether it's to a lead magnet, whether it's to book a call, whatever, but just do something different every day, because people have to take an action to click on a story. So as I said, go out and find at least 5 new people. Until you get the hang of this, just keep it at 5. But if you want movement quickly, 20 a day. Who are your target audience? Like 3 posts, comment on 1, and then send a friend request. If you've sent a friend request, so let's take Sarah here, all you're going to do is move to friend request. Just going to move it under so that you know you've sent that person a friend request. What you might then do is, once they've accepted, move them to new friends. Wait at least a day until you send an audio message, and then you're just going to move to audio message. Yeah. You're just going to add people to this so that you know where everybody is. If people are liking and commenting from posts, then create a new template for that person. Remember, you go to template for leads, copy it first and put the name and either add the URL, right? So every time you're just going to be adding leads to this form. When you add them here, if it's somebody who was in your current friends list anyway, and say you sent them, you're going to move them here. Okay, once you're done, at least a day, maybe 2. Once you've sent the audio message, at least a day after or 2 days. So say this person is here and you've sent them an audio message. The next thing is you're going to send them the first script. So you're just going to move them here, and here's what you're going to send. Hey, whatever their first name is. Yeah, remember to do this. So you can obviously change it around to what is suitable for you, but that's the first in their DM. Now, if they respond, you can move them across if you've booked a call. But if they haven't responded 2 days later, then you've got the first follow-up nudge. Yeah, I understand how busy notifications can get, so I'm just putting this to the top. Some people don't like this. If they don't like it, it means they're not interested. But it's just a way for those that were interested and forgot. It's a reminder for them. So I found this works really well. If people don't like it, they're not a good fit. Don't take offense. Don't take any of this personally. Now, if they say a week's time, now you can set the date. So once you move them here, you can set the date for 5 days time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on Friday, yeah, so save that. When you come in here, you will know who you need to follow up with. If it gets to the 18th, right, you're going to move them across. And here's the next follow-up nudge. So this is just saying that you appreciate that they're busy. So maybe they'd be interested in just doing a form. Yeah. And then you're going to input the link for the form in here. So again, that's another way. If they really don't respond to that, then again, they're not interested. Otherwise, if they have responded, then, get them booked on a call and send this DM. Tell them to say thanks. The more interactions you get, the more engagement you get back and forth, the easier it's going to be for you to sell to them eventually. Okay, this is just a process. You might think, oh, this is going to take ages, but remember, you've just got to build your pipeline, and then you'll have more people at the end of the pipeline ready to get on a sales call. So this is just more of a gently approach that you just can't manage on your own. So day before the call. So again, you're going to change the date to when she's actually booked the call, save it. Now you know when it gets to the day before, when you come in here and it'll light up. I think it'll be orange when it's nearly due. So you'll know, okay, I need to send that person a quick DM reminder that, you know, their call is booked for tomorrow, and input the link to join your Zoom, right? And I've put here the questions to interview them, right? So download that. So once you've conducted the interview, again, you're going to move them along. Send them a DM. It was great chatting to you. Thanks for your time today. Is it okay if I send you a finalised report once I've compiled it? Here's a recap of the 3 most important things I felt came from the call. And just put 3 things that they told you from 3 of the questions. I will be back in touch. In the meantime, as a thank you for your time, you can download my cheat sheet. Don't send them to another link to put their email address in. You've got their email address. Just send them the link to download it. Okay, once you have compiled 15 to 20, then you can move them across here. Because then you're going to DM them, thanking them for their contribution and asking if they want to book on a call so that you can share the findings with them. Yeah, and then the same thing. Okay, if they don't respond, again, people are busy. I miss things all the time, and I'm actually really grateful when somebody does send me a reminder if I've missed it and I haven't put it on my calendar. So again, similar thing. Slightly different to the first one. When we publish the report, can we name you, or would you prefer to be anonymous? So it's just a gentle reminder. If there's no response after 2 days, I mean, these are people that have done the interview. Just a gentle reminder, a great way to get some free publicity when we post findings. You're trying to get them booked on the call. So once they're booked on the call, again, the day reminder, and then after the call, give them some extra training. So treat this from the discovery call section. So then you're going to send them your best training and try and get them on a sales call. At the end of the second call, your job is to try and get them on a proper sales call. Yeah. And then we're going to move them there. So this is just an easy way to manage your leads. And so the scripts are there. Hope this helps.